Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since July 1985, the Birmingham Stallions have lost a spring football playoff game. Oh, what a beautiful morning! Oh, what a beautiful day! I've got a wonderful feeling. Next weekend, them Stallions won't play. Let's go, dude. Let's absolutely go. A couple of these. For the people, for the people. Welcome, folks. Welcome here to the last episode of this season of the Michigan Panthers podcast.
You're in the jungle now, baby.
I'm your host, FBI Tugboat.
You ever made out with a tugboat?
Now I know what you're thinking. In case you haven't been following along here, I'm a commentator. I was working, and the bright studio lights that I have up messed with my head. Gave me a migraine, actually. Gave me a wicked migraine, of which I've never had one before. So the glasses here are kind of a stopgap before I, talk to the doctor. There's a stopgap before I go in and see the doctor. Can't have bright lights in my eyes. Don't want to get a headache, essentially, or migraine. Really, essentially, I had like tunnel vision the whole 9 yards. It was actually pretty crazy. Really hope it is not a sign of bad things to come. Enough about me. How about them Panthers? Let's go, dude. Let's absolutely go. There was some points in this game where I thought that that they were going to do it again. They're going to do it again. 0-7 coming into this game between the regular season and the postseason. Last year of the USFL with Mike Nolan there. Last year, obviously, UFL beat us in the playoffs. And then the 2 games this regular season. Oh, obviously, the 2 games, regular season last year, which we did not win. The 2 games regular season this year, one of which, to be fair, did not matter. But still, I've said it all year long, folks. I would much rather be 1-7 to this squad in the game that matters than obviously the first game against Birmingham definitely mattered. Kind of set the stage for the entire season and whatnot. But the second game obviously did not matter. Rest Bryce Perkins. I am so glad that we did. We did not see living statue Danny Etling on the sidelines. A little bit of content right there. It was nice. We did not see budding star, but not quite there yet, star Rocky Lombardi. We saw Bryce Perkins all the way through, even Bryce Perkins taking kneels at the end. Not even going to give the opportunity to either of these guys to completely mess it up. Now, as you guys have know if you've been watching, I've kind of shied away from doing the full like highlights and stuff like that, right? You guys can go watch the if you didn't watch the game, guys can obviously go watch the game in its entirety over on YouTube. And there's also these highlights, right? These 11, 15-minute highlights that they post of the games and whatnot. I think when I should have done this. I should have done this earlier, like in the season. What I think I'm gonna do is find like a highlight of the game, like the biggest play, right? And maybe play like the one before and the one after or something like that. So it's only like 90 seconds maybe or so of actual highlight here, because I just don't want like this to be like a react video of me watching the highlights, right? Because that's kind of seen what it's felt like. Let's talk a little bit about these stats before we hop on in, and I'll show you the play of the game. Quarter 1 exiting this 7-0. Obviously, this is a situation we've been in before, but tying them all the way up here. Now, we did allow a tutty there at the end of the first quarter. I'll let you guys take a look at the stats there while I talk. But the second half was all us. We got a tiny bit of like comeback factor there in the fourth quarter, but it was pretty much sealed with these I think 3 scores. Yeah, 2 field goals and a touchdown there in the third quarter, while they only put up 3. The problem last year was trying to match the pace of the Birmingham Stallions. Mike Nolan admitted it immediately after the game, talked about it all year long, right? We did not do that. We came with our own pace. We had very long drives, right? Let's take a look here. Total yardage, we did beat them, not significantly, by about 70 yards. That's basically the difference on the ground right there. Did put up more penalties, which kind of sucked. But yeah, time of possession, advantage about 9 minutes right there, but it was these total plays and just how long they would go forth and get, honestly. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Only a single sack for both of these teams. They got a couple more tackle for losses. I believe that was probably on Toa, Nate McCreary, and Mr. Colburn over there. But Bryce Perkins putting up his best passing game, I believe, outside of maybe that DC game that really was just like an absolute shootout back and forth, right? What are we, about 5 minutes in? Okay, cool. Ending with we'll call it 120 rating right here, 80%. That's honestly really, really what I like. Only 5 dropped passes, insane stuff. Tutty right there. No INTs, cannot say the same for these two. Matt Corral and Jamar Smith both throwing one. Matt Corral throwing a pick 6 towards the end of the second period, and then getting pulled immediately, just like that. Tap dancing on the stage, right, and then the cane from the side. Yoink, yoink. Right on off. Matt Corral came on in. Oh, sorry, that was Jamar Smith, I believe. Yeah, it was Jamar Smith because Jamar Smith started. Excuse me. Jamar Smith getting yoinked right there, like right in the middle of the game. No, like first half Jamar Smith, second half Matt Corral, anything else like that. Holding Jamar Smith to a 40% completion ratio, and Matt Corral not too far behind. Now, 50% is a lot more respectable right here. Once Matt Corral came in, I thought, damn it, this is it. This is the slow burn that goes all the way down with Birmingham once again winning by 2 to 4 points. No, 4 points off of a situation where we cannot kick a field goal, obviously, to tie, have to go forth, get a tutty. Not going to happen exactly like it happened this year, exactly like it happened in years past. But no, lo and behold, here Michigan comes out on top. MVP of the game, obviously, have to give it to Bryce Perkins. You'll see why in just a second. But Toa, what a guy. The human bowling ball right here. Commentators talking about it constantly. This guy was working on a golf course 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, excuse me. 21 on 85, solid average right there. High volume, solid average. Saw a solid bit of Matthew Colburn as well. No Nate McCreary. Mostly keeping our, I'm saying, like, there's kind of like the haves and the have-nots here. Obviously, Devin Ross, a fantastic one, but only one toss to him. Outside of that, this is pretty much these 4 right here, right? Cole Hikutini catching 6 of 6. Malik Turner really putting up, a yard shy of 100 yards. Anybody who took his boost, by the way, for 100-plus receiving yards and a touchdown for like 22 to 1 or whatever else like that would be absolutely livid at that number, at that no triple digits right here. Yeah, dude, only 5 drop passes. Like, what an absolute game, dude. What an absolute game. This was ultimately decided through the air, I feel like. But between the pick 6 for Jamar Smith, through no picks for us, for these 238 yards for Bryce Perkins, but this was determined, and the pace of play was determined and set on the ground. Toa was unstoppable. Matthew Colburn, this isn't a great ratio, but did a great job kind of coming in right here. Obviously, the big difference being, 3 of these 21 attempts getting touchdowns for Toa, right? You take 2 of those away, this is a 1-point game, right? Crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. Great job limiting Ricky Persons. I mean, can you really call it that, though? Because he didn't really get like a whole lot of options here. Davion Davis took one on a trick play right here. Marlon Williams got a little bit involved, but I can't really talk too well about a 3.5 average when we have 2 attempts. Matt Corral looked a little shaky right there. Not shaky. He looked a little like what's the word? He was hard to pin down, right? Showed those legs a little bit. Not really. I mean, only 17 rushes by everybody and shut down a man named C.J. Marable. Our offensive line looked great. Our linebackers and defense, that front 7 right there looked pretty darn good as well. No Ginda, that sucks. Breland Speaks actually didn't get super involved right here. Doesn't matter when you got men named Noah Dawkins doing fantastic stuff. Kai Nakua, though, the interception, tackle for loss, couple passes broken up as well. Kai Nakua, the defensive player of the game, almost certainly. Kedrick White had himself a freaking game as well. Two solos on 5 total and a broken up pass. Noah Dawkins, tackle for loss. Solo tackles everywhere, dude. This was fantastic. Breland Speaks still searching for his first sack since he did return. But yeah, Rose is given to Toa, Malik Turner, Noah Dawkins, and to man named Kai Nakua. Bryce Perkins, yes, MVP, my opinion. This is also kind of what we've come to expect. Speaking of what we've come to expect, let's take a look at this. This is the third period. Perkins takes a sack right here. We have to punt it away. They end out. They have a little bit of a longer drive. Thicker kicker, y'all. Thicker kicker. Honestly, pretty crazy, dude. Not like right down the middle, but that could have been 63 or something like that. Well, yeah, this is a fantastic kick. Let's see how Michigan Panthers doth respond. They do a great job. What you're about to watch is first two plays don't really go anywhere, and the second of which results in a tackle for loss.
So I think we're going to be working this post in on this left side.
Look at this offensive line. All the time in the world, dude. 98 gets up, gets a second shot. Gets her away from there, but then 99. Oh, nope. Oh, nope. Doesn't even get contacted again. Slides down immediately afterwards. What? Bryce Perkins is not made of the same flesh and blood as the rest of us, folks. He is not made of the same bones, skin, and red blood cells that the rest of us are confined to. Crazy stuff. He knows the marker is right there. Perfect. Gets right past it. Knows. Boop. Boom, 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 boom. Banga, 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 bang. Says his right ankle's injured. I don't see that, folks. Fantastic stuff. Fan-freaking-tastic. Gotta say. Oh, man. That was absolutely inspirational. That was, again, in the third period. We would get points off of that run, and that this was a punt before then. This was a punt before Bryce Perkins goes in and just decides to do Bryce Perkins things. Take a look a little bit more at the defense here. Big shout-out. Rose is given to Stephen Gilmore here, forcing a fumble. I don't think we fumbled once, right? Yeah, we fumbled once. Obviously, no interceptions. That fumble did kind of seem like it was... it was coming down to the wire, and obviously the game ended with the interception. Birmingham trying to march on down. Obviously, they're behind by 15, which is 2 scores in this league or any other league, right? If this was 12, it'd have been much more dangerous because they kick there in the red zone instead to try the 4th and 12, get the ball back, go down, march down the field, try and put up 6, get the 3-point conversion, tie this game, and Jordan feels really bad about picks and whatnot. That is not the case. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic game. Now let's go forth and let's review some of the DC game here, and then talk about next week, right? DC Defenders shutting down the St. Louis Battlehawks. This first half was absolutely was all DC, right? Early touchdown, no extra point conversion right there, puts them 14 more to go 20-6 in the end. I believe that was only so they failed the attempt right there for the touchdown. I thought that was a couple of field goals. 6 and 6 across the second, third, and fourth periods as DC was rolling. This got to the point where Jordan so what did I say? I said that this game was going to be won by DC if it's through the air or by St. Louis if it's on the ground. I was totally incorrect. Max Duggan even kind of chucked him up a little bit more than I thought. Frank Darby having himself an absolute game. 2 receptions for 50 total yards. Some fantastic stuff right there. Ja'Cour Pearson dropping half of his passing attempts. I thought the DC was going to give up a lot more damage, a lot more points in general, and especially not really have this long ball threat covered. They absolutely did that. We'll check out some of the defense in a minute here. I definitely anticipated Jordan Teamo right here, throwing for a lot more of this. We talked about the specials last week. It was like 303 or something like that, and I thought that was decently possible. No, it was Abram Smith and a man named Deion freaking Jackson on the ground. What is that, 34 attempts between the two of them? Crazy stuff, honestly, y'all. Crazy stuff. Some fantastic stuff right here in St. Louis's defense. Their rush defense just couldn't do anything. And it got to the point where DC, probably about the third quarter, that was 26-14, something like that. So 12 total points, technically still 2 scores, but not enough to really feel comfortable about that one. Did St. Louis actually get a? I don't think they got a. I don't think they got a point conversion attempt. No. Right, Duggan had himself a little bit of a game on the ground. It is a good running quarterback, man. But yeah, 8 for 33, average of 4. It was Jacob Sailors getting it done right there. But it reached the point where they just had to throw the ball up to get big chunk plays to just try and come back as they were playing from behind. This was not as entertaining as the other game because you even saw like the fight in St. Louis kind of give out. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like third period, really, but definitely by the fourth period. Yeah, this just did not inspire confidence in the St. Louis squad. I know a lot of people are already talking about Anthony Becht and whatnot. I wish we had played against this team in the St. Louis in the at some point here in the postseason because they did beat us obviously by a tutty or by 6 points, 7 points, something like that during the regular season. A game in which Bryce Perkins did not play all of it, and as soon as Bryce Perkins came out and was after thriving, Danny Allen comes in. Excuse me. Short pass for 7 yards, incomplete pass, INT, brought it back almost all the way. They would get a touchdown off of it. You tell me Anthony Becht also says, hey, I'm really glad that we didn't have to play against Bryce Perkins that entire game. You tell me what that means, okay? About 16 minutes in here. Y'all, this was such a good game. Seth Williams having himself an absolute game, right? Cornell Powell doing Cornell Powell things. Chris Lolan right there. Both of them dropping a couple of passes, but putting up some respectable numbers. Jaden Mickens having a comparatively really, really good game. Braylon Sanders and the Titans just not getting quite as involved right there, but again, didn't really need to. All three rushers on the stat sheet. Obviously, Teama only with 2. We'll give it to him. 5 or above, right? 5 or above, pretty darn good. This DC squad, it's one of those things that I'm not just homer picking this. I thought DC's defense wasn't as good coming into this, and they played a good game against St. Louis, but St. Louis's offense was just kind of stifled, honestly. I really feel like our defense had a much harder game against the Birmingham Stallions than DC had against St. Louis. Okay. And okay, yeah, let's go forth and let's preview this, right? Let's preview this. We should be spending this week working on 2 things, and that is deep passes on either side of the ball, right? Sayose Mariner got a couple targets there, super deep, unable to bring those down. Doesn't put up a very large scoreline. Now, I don't feel like DC's rushing defense is gonna be able to really stifle the Tawa, Colburn, McCreary if we see him in Perkins combination. And if we get ahead early, we're not going to really have to rely on the pass and whatnot. But I say those 2 things, the deep passes, because I mean both sides of the ball. Like deeper passes, Bryce Perkins had a fantastic deep pass, but that kind of seemed like it was more of the anomaly and not the standard, right? That's really the only thing that I would do to work on this guy, like literally at all. Everything else about Bryce Perkins is fantastic. The other thing that but the defensive side of the ball, right? Jordan Tambo can air this out, and if he puts up, how many did he actually throw? Only 26. Wow, so that might be actually like a season low, excuse me. But we're gonna have a good shot at shutting down the rushing defense here because we have a good rush defense. That is going to force Jordan Tambo to throw more, so definitely expect more passing attempts and more passing yards coming out from Jordan Tambo. That's where we're going to have to stop this squad. Cornell Powell, what is that Titan's name? Moore McKinley, I believe his name is. Cornell Powell, Chris Rowland, Moore McKinley. Braylon Sanders definitely as well can be dangerous. I'm not really super worried about the running backs catching passes like as much again because we have that real strong front 7, Fast Breland Speaks and Kenny Willikis, right? Any hoodles, I do feel like that game will similarly be decided on the ground, but the pace of play I think is going to be decided through the air, right? Like whichever team kind of really needs to, and we're the Michigan Panthers. We don't air it out usually unless we really need to, either situationally and on 3rd and long, or if behind, right? Which is honestly kind of some of the best ball we play because people give Bryce Perkins the field, right? And so, you put receivers out there that like have the threat of putting up like 30, 35 yards, and you open up especially the flats, and now you have Bryce Perkins running for 18, 20, 25, even farther sometimes, right? And not even being touched like either. That's the thing. Just literally ships in the night. People just passing right him on by. Like might get a hand on the jersey or something like that. Nothing. Anyway, we should be able to shut down Deion Jackson and Abram Smith. But Abram Smith, let's talk about that. I've spent most of the season kind of decrying him. Well, St. Louis's defense didn't look great, but Abram Smith did really did. I'll have to see next week how our front seven shut down this guy. I'm a little bit more worried about Deion Jackson, of course. Opening lines here. Let's talk about it just for a second. Not going to do a full episode. Okay, not going to do a full episode. Not taking any picks quite yet. But opening lines right here, as this number shoots up, right? It was both 46, even I saw his numbers as high as 47 there for the for the DC game. And it seems like they kind of figured it out a little bit. Bumped this up to just shy of 50. Michigan 3-point dogs. And worse money right here as well. If I had to take picks right now, gun to the head, bang, bang. Probably, actually, that's what I feel a lot better about -3 right here. We already thrashed them by this, and we just beat a way better defense earlier. Now, I could see Jordan Tiamo pop it. Nah, I can't do that I can't take an under against two explosive teams. Anyway, that's what I would do right there. We'll monitor this. I'm more so doing this so that I have like some kind of frame of reference for a little bit later here and see how these numbers move. But that's basically gonna be it, folks. I appreciate y'all watching. I really do. It has been a fantastic year, even if we lose this upcoming weekend against DC, which I don't think is going to happen. It's been a fantastic time, and again, we'll give like a season review towards the end of get out some proverbial flowers and whatnot. Right? I'm FBI Tugboat. You can find me everywhere at FBI_Tugboat. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate the likes, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want to, if not, that's certainly cool. Also follow the United Football Media Group. Been working with them for a couple of years now, making content with them, and they got a person for every team. Obviously, DC is the only squad left in it. But, however, tell me about it. Going to be continuing all through the summer as well. Football talk show. You will see me on there frequently. I believe it's going to be on Tuesdays. That is Arik, excuse me. That is Tay. And that is True over there. Going to be hosting it mostly. I believe Arik's going to be hosting kind of like the wider thing and have other UFM people in there, but you'll see me over there. Now, worry not, because there will be a gambling episode put out. Obviously, only one single game, so we'll have less picks right there. But I obviously will do a season review after this, and if we win, I'm going to be coming with the fire and the flames, y'all. I'm going to be coming with the fire and the flames. Appreciate y'all for watching, and as for me,
I'll catch you on the flip side.